Group in Nashville and the star of Bravo's $1 Million Listing, Josh Altman, in Los Angeles. Josh, I'll start with you. Boy, howdy, do we have a red-hot market in some areas. The latest numbers out from Case-Shiller, prices up 9.3% in the biggest cities. How long can this continue?
Well, hopefully very long. I got to tell you, the market is on fire. The high-end markets, breaking records right and left. You got also, affordable housing in places like Silver Lake, Miracle Mile, Culver City in L.A., where you get a good house for under $1 million. But the question is, can you close fast enough? And are you ready to compete? Because there's a lot of buyers out there.
Are you ready to compete? Monty, is it like that in Nashville? I mean, in some places I'm hearing about, multiple bids, red-hot housing market. What's going on in Tennessee?
It's a great market, Jerry. It's absolutely a great market. It's not those kind of numbers and that kind of activity, but we have seen the last 22 months in a row continual steady growth. We're 27% higher and more closings this month than this time last year.
This is like a red-hot panel tonight. Let me tell you, Oren once sold the most expensive house in Miami's entire history, right? Some $47 million for one house. Oren, how's Miami doing? Florida was a mess. Is it coming back? There's the house you sold.
There it is, Jerry. Listen, the Miami market's on fire. I'm not just talking about the Miami Heat here. We're talking about Miami real estate. On the high end specifically, we have all of the whole world's wealth out here trying to vie for some of these handful of properties. We've broken this year alone the highest recorded sale price for a condominium in Florida history for $34 million. We've hit the highest recorded sale price per foot on condominium as well as single-family homes.
Well, I saw in your notes all of these different projects in Miami. Would you say 20 or 30 condo projects under construction right now? It's amazing. Josh,
currently, there's over 120 projects going on in the greater Miami area as we speak.
Hey, Oren, to you, how do I buy here? Tell me about strategy, because people know the market's on fire. They just don't know how to play.
Look, I told you this last time I was on the air with you, Jerry. The key is a good broker, a strong broker that has the extensive knowledge on the inventory and is able to mark to market quickly, because, quite frankly, if you're not ready to go, the deal is going to go.
It occurs to me that people, Monte, are having to face a lot of buyers who have 100% of the money they need to buy a house. And we've read stories, and Monte, you tell me if this is true, that some realtors hold back the best properties for those all-cash offers. True?
Around here, Tennessee's a lot nicer than that to deal with, Jerry, to be honest with you. We don't have that kind of stuff going on.
Well, and I appreciate that, because my mother lived in Knoxville for a long, long time. It is a nice place.
It really is.
Oren, to you, do you see people holding back properties for all cash offers?
Typically today, in today's environment, yes. Most of the buyers are cash buyers. What you need to understand, Jerry, is that Miami was one of the hardest hit markets during the recession. Since then, we've grown tremendously. We have an influx of cultural centers, of restaurants, infrastructure. Today, Miami has to be one of the hottest destinations in the world. And what you're seeing is these buyers that have been on the sidelines for the past 4 years are all running to now purchase property, and they're all paying cash. Right. So this is not really a boom that's going on.
I can think of another red-hot market where a lot of people visit, and that's L.A., Josh. Is it possible that there is a bubble building in some of these markets right now where prices are maybe a little too high, and it's because inventories are so tight?
Yeah, I don't think so. Like Oren said, there's been a lot of people sitting on the sidelines for the last 4 years. They're ready to buy a house. Borrowing money is cheaper than it's ever been before. I'm even buying houses now. And, with the lack of inventory, the cheap money, it's a great time to buy. The difference is that people can afford it now as opposed to it was 5 years ago.
Well, Josh, I'm going to tell your story here, too. You sold the most expensive one-bedroom house in California history, $20 million, one-bedroom house in 2012. That's great stuff. Monte, to you, you're in a more normal market like a lot of our viewers are in. What kinds of things should people be remembering right now? And let's talk about the flip side of the equation, people who really want to sell right now.
Well, it's becoming more of a seller's market than what it certainly has been. But I don't know that these guys can even comprehend or even imagine my prices. My median price here is $185,000, Jerry. But you think about the affordability for anybody in the country. Those are awesome numbers we're talking about, but anybody in the country can afford to live in Nashville, and it's one of the absolute best places in the world to live.
All right. Okay. I think you guys all have great markets. Oren, to you, you know, a lot of people out there are used to using equity in their own home to grow their real estate portfolio. Can you do that now? Are the banks at all working with people to help them buy real estate?
You know, they say they are. I found that it's pretty tough in today's climate to actually get to refinance your home. But if you can and it's within your means, then why not? Go for it.
And Josh, what do you say? Are the banks working with people?
Yeah, they're working with people. You don't need to over leverage yourself. That's what happened the last time. Be happy where you are. Get a great house. Get it cheap. Stay there for the next 5 years. If you're planning to do that, that's going to be the best option. No need to over leverage and buy and this and that. Worst comes to worst, you can always lease out your property, especially when your payments are going to be so low if you lock it in now.
You know, Monte, we've got a run rate here of about 5 million houses for the year, which is back to a more normal time in the real estate market. Do you think we're going to continue to have cycles, or are we going to even out and have more of a steady state kind of marketplace?
I think the lenders have made it difficult enough that we're going to see a steady increase. I don't think we're going to in a bubble whatsoever. I think we're going to continually see this kind of growth. You know, people are tired of sitting back and waiting and wondering what the economy is going to do. So, and we're seeing that the action take place here in Middle Tennessee on a consistent, gradual basis and a healthy climb.
Well, you know, we were just looking at mortgage rates. 3.4% a lot of the country. That is luscious. It's time to go buy. I'm a big fan of the real estate market. I want to see it do well. Guys, thanks for coming on. Oren, Monte, and Josh, great job, all three of you. A real all-star panel. Thank you so much.